Of the oranges. Usually it's used for zesting. You want to take out that white part dahil ito yung nagpapabitter, nagbibigay ng bitter taste. Ang gusto mo lang talaga para concentrate ang lasa is only the peel or the skin. Chef Warrior Arnold throwing in, you'll be throwing this in?
A little while.
Checking on his cocida. A little more seasoning happening in the side of Chef Warrior Arnold. To thicken it up, you'll be throwing in the bread.
Yes.
Okay. Comfort food talaga. Adding some more UFC tomato sauce guisado into his cocida. While Chef Warrior Mark is slicing his orange zest into strips. Julienne. Fine Julienne, actually. Good knife skills over there. And the oxtail of Chef Warrior Mark is out of the oven. He's checking if it is tender. Malambot siya. Luto na naman, so hindi magiging problema yan. Over the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, what's that couple of powder stuff you threw in? What was that?
Brown sugar and thyme.
Okay. Chef Warrior Mark pouring in his tomato marmalade in a clear bowl. Chef Warrior Arnold checking on his baked focaccia or toasted focaccia. Chef Warrior Mark is spooning a bit of that tomato marmalade mixture on top of his baked oxtail.
Yung naisip kong handang iluto ko, parang inisip ko, dagdagan pa. Kasi parang yung na-expect kong, sabi ko, ganito na siguro lulutuin nila. Iba, mas above dun sa expectation.
Last 5 minutes. Let's turn up the heat.
Actually, Zoran, I think the pressure is basically off. Both of our Chef Warriors are actually done with their dishes. They're just simply plating it already. Chef Warrior Mark is finishing up his plating, while Chef Warrior Arnold is already spooning his Spanish stew into soup bowls. Chef Warrior Mark throwing in some of that sliced seedless grapes, while Chef Warrior Arnold taking out his toasted focaccia from the oven. At the final touch, Chef Warrior Mark taking out his orange peel, orange zest.
Kaya ako gumamit ng orange zest kasi gumamit ako ng orange juice. So sabi ko sa sarili ko na itong orange na to is magpakulay sa sauce ko.
Little more color in there. And Chef Warrior Mark is done. Chef Warrior Arnold also has just a little bit more parsley, I think. And Chef Warrior Arnold is done too. It's judgment time, and we're going to start with Chef Warrior Mark with his oxtail and tomato and dried fruits marmalade. What do you think, judges? Let's start with Zoran.
Mark, Chef Warrior Mark. Unang-unang pansin ko yung plating. Sa plating pa lang and the color, bongga siya. Hindi siya ordinary. May kakaiba siyang lasa. And if I call the chef, ano nilagay mo? UFC tomato sauce guisado. Oh, you're kidding me. Sinungaling ka kasi. Di ba, pare? It's so balanced.
Thank you very much, Zoran. Okay, let's go to our jury. Sige, what does the jury think? For this one, I believe Janet will speak.
For us, especially for me, I like yung orange zest with the sauce and the meat. Something refreshing siya for me.
You speak in behalf of the rest of the Chef Warriors, past Chef Warriors.
Yes. Sarap.
Thank you very much, Janet. Chef Sao!
Okay, yung kumbaga sa movie, yung dish ni Chef Mark, parang indie film, no? Gusto ko yung mabilis ang pagkagawa, very unpredictable yung ending. Hindi mo alam kung anong kabubuan ng gagawin niya, no? But true enough na na-surprise ako. Ang ganda ng kinalabasan ng dish ni Mark. Congratulations for that. Parang something new. Nakiliti yung taste buds ko. And I like the presentation, the color, the texture, tsaka yung mga flavors is really fantastic.
Thank you very much, Chef Sao. Okay, Chef Warrior Mark, it seems like you really tickled the taste buds of all of our judges today, but it's not quite done yet. Let's now find out what the judges think about Chef Warrior Arnold. Let's see what our judges think of Chef Warrior Arnold's cocida. Let's start with our jury.
Personally, I like Spanish food, and I find na maganda yung blend ng flavors. Malasa naman yung meat. It's well seasoned. Except for the potato, it's a bit hard for me. Yeah, and the chorizo also brought out the flavors of the meat. Tapos yung blending niya, I really like it. And I think it's very comfort dish.
Okay, what about Chef Sao? What do you think, Chef Sao?
Successful siya sa pag-blend ng UFC, no? Nag-shine ito talagang perfect partner sa UFC tomato sauce.
Gisado, yes.
Labas na labas yung tomato sauce, no? May kulang ng konti. Alam mo kung anong kulang? Rice. Sarap ito with rice.
Ayan.
No?
Thank you very much, Chef Sao. Zoran, what do you think?
For me, it's a good mixture. Tapos I like yung small cut ng chorizo. I really like it a lot. This is gonna be hard for us.
Well, it's good that you got raving reviews from our judges, but it's not quite over yet. This time, Chef Warrior Domeng will be stepping up to the plate. So keep it here as we go to round 2 sa pagbabalik ng Kitchen Battle!
Our semi-final round robin continues. At sa round na ito, ang dalawang Chef Warrior na magtutuos ay sina Chef Warrior Arnold at Chef Warrior Domingo. Ang ating star at main ingredients, pampano at UFC tomato sauce gisado. You have 20 minutes. Let the kitchen battle begin!
Here we go, round 2. And yes, our third Chef Warrior semifinalist this year, Chef Warrior Domeng versus Chef Warrior Arnold. And yes, pampano ang ating main ingredient. Ano kaya ang gagawin ng ating mga Chef Warriors with this one? It's off to a fishy adventure. Over the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, he has his pampano. And if I'm not mistaken, the way he's cutting it is into a fillet. Taking out all the bones, making sure everything's easy for our judges. Over the side of Chef Warrior Domeng, he has a pan full of oil. Chef Warrior Domeng, magdi-deep fry ka, no?
Yes.
Alright, that's why he's got that big pan full of oil. He is getting our main ingredient, the pampano. Nagdi-descale naman si Chef Warrior Arnold over in the sink. Well, Chef Warrior Domeng is doing the same, taking out all the scale. Ano ba ang balak mo, Chef Warrior Domeng?
Fry ko siya, tapos nagawa ko ng sauce.
Okay. So, keep it real, keep it clean. Sa sauce mo babawiin ang
Yes.
lasa. Over in the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, what is your battle plan with the pampano fillets?
I'm filleting it and I will be cooking it with cream. It will be stuffed with 3 kind of mushrooms.
Aba, okay, sounds fancy. You're also taking out the skin, I see.
Yes. And it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's
Take it
tough.
out.
Parang leathery,
Yes.
practically.
Nagdadalawang isip ako, ipipilay ko o hihiwaan ko lang. Pag magpilay ko, angat, baka masira lang yung fillet, maduro. So, ginawa ko, ganyan na lang. Ginatlaan ko na lang.
Chef Warrior Arnold, sinisiguradong walang tinik ang kanyang pampano fillet.
I don't want it na buong isda siya. Kasi lilinisin mo pa. For me, it's unwanted process already. So the best way for me talaga, disisido na ako, talaga ifi-fillet ko siya. Successful!
If I'm not mistaken, Chef Warrior Domeng is off to season his pampano. So over on the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, he has oyster mushroom, button mushrooms, and gnocchi mushrooms. Over on the side of Chef Warrior Domeng, he already seasoned his fish. And if I'm not mistaken, you're about to throw that in your hot pot.
Yes.
Chef Warrior Domeng starting up with his sauce, I believe, while Chef Warrior Arnold is tenderizing his fillets.
Just want it a little flatter.
Chef Warrior Domeng cutting up his carrots. Little seasoning going on in Chef Warrior Arnold's side. Moving on to his pan with some butter and flour. Is that right?
Cornstarch.
Cornstarch, okay.
Make sure it's going to be very thick when you
Okay.
serve it.
Over the side of Chef Warrior Domeng, he finally touched our star ingredient. It is the UFC tomato sauce gisado. With UFC tomato sauce gisado, you're actually saved with the hassle of sautéing because it has real sautéed garlic and onions already blended in the tomato sauce. Tsaka ang dali lang na gamitin because all you have to do is use it like you would a regular tomato sauce. Panalo talaga sa lasa ang UFC tomato sauce gisado dahil may totoong sautéed or ginisang bawang at sibuyas in the tomato sauce. Put it to a taste. Over in that mixture with our star ingredient, Chef Warrior Domeng threw in some soy sauce. So again, that's the UFC tomato sauce gisado, a little bit of curry, a little bit of soy sauce, And we got 10 minutes left into round 2 battle. Chef Warrior Domeng simply is working with the star ingredient. Chef Warrior Arnold throwing in his sauteed mushrooms into his cream mixture. Chef Warrior Domeng starting to fry his pampano. And in his hand, he has some mango. That was quick. Chef Warrior Arnold spooning out the cream mixture, putting it into a bowl. He's spooning that cream and mushroom mixture into his pampano fillets. Chef Warrior Domeng throwing in some sliced mango. Chef Warrior Domeng, considering our time limits here, the fish is practically almost done. While on the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, he too has touched his star ingredient, the UFC tomato sauce guisado. He is putting it in another pot, mixed in with the cream. He also threw in some of the pampano fillets that he stuffed with our cream and mushroom mixture, while Chef Warrior Domeng threw in his UFC tomato sauce guisado mixture into another pan and heating that up as well. Chef Warrior Arnold, little taste test going on with his cream mixture along with our star ingredient, the UFC tomato sauce guisado.
Si Arnold is parang yung ginagawa niya, hindi siya sure na maabot or dahil nagmamadali. Not like Domeng is like pa siya cool na cool eh. Parang alam niya na yung talagang gagawin niya. Parang na-experience niya na before.
The heating or warming process of our UFC tomato sauce guisado, covering one of the pots and still waiting for his fish to fry. Chef Warrior Arnold has grapes on his side of the kitchen battlefield, while Chef Warrior Domeng has eggplants. Chef Warrior Domeng, will you be putting this in the sauce?
Yes.
Okay. While on the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, he flipped his fish fillets.
Last 5 minutes. Let's turn up the heat.
Zaren, our 2 Chef Warriors are still waiting for their fish to finish. Chef Warrior Arnold spooning his mushroom cream sauce with a little bit of tomato sauce guisado mixture in there as a bed. And I believe he's done basically pan frying the fish fillets, the pampano fish fillets, which he stuffed with some mushroom and cream. Over on the side of Chef Warrior Domeng, we're still waiting for his fish to finish frying. It was a good idea to put those pockets, Chef Warrior Domeng, para talagang maluto yung loob ng fish. But I believe Chef Warrior Domeng's sauce is at least pretty much done. And he threw in some of the carrots that he sliced earlier into, as well as his eggplants, into the same frying pan where his fish is frying. He's got a coriander with some paper towels over there, obviously fixing it up. Chef Warrior Domeng throwing in a bit of the fried carrots and fried eggplant as well. Little chiffonade action happening in Chef Warrior Arnold's side, putting it as a topping. This pampano filet. Chef Warrior Domeng fishing out his main ingredient, the fried pampano. And Chef Warrior Domeng has yet to plate. We have around 2 minutes left, if I'm not mistaken. Will Chef Warrior Domeng make it in time? Gotta plate out. Chef Warrior Arnold just slicing up some more grapes. But basically, Chef Warrior Arnold, you are done. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, done in one side of the kitchen battlefield. Everything is on Chef Warrior Domeng. Will he finish? Chef Warrior Domeng spooning that fried pampano to the plate and putting some of the sauce on top. Little dusting of, what's that, curry?
Cayenne.
Cayenne pepper. Over on the side of Chef Warrior Arnold, throwing in some green olives to add some more color. Chef Warrior Domeng, frying some basil to add a little bit more color to his plate. Olives on the side of Chef Warrior Arnold to complete his garnish, while Chef Warrior Domeng fried up some basil, and that will go on top of his fried pampano with his UFC tomato sauce guisado mixture. Chef Warrior Domeng is done!